ర్యాలీ ఫర్ రివర్స్ కార్యక్రమంలో భాగంగా విజయవాడ చేరుకున్న ఈసా ఫౌండేషన్ అధిపతి జగ్గి వాసుదేవ్ మీడియాతో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారం ద్వారా చూద్దాం.
20,000 kilometers. Out of this, fortunately, 25% of the land is still in the hands of the government. We are determined that this 25% must be made into forested lands. There's no question about it. I am quite sure this will happen in the next 10 years' time. We will ensure this happens. And another 75% is in the hands of the farmers. Of this, 6 to 8% are delta lands. We can leave the delta lands, we don't have to touch it. The remaining 65% is where the challenge is, where we have to create large-scale modules where a farmer is made to see that by shifting from crop-based agriculture to tree-based agriculture, his economics and his earnings will go up manyfold. We have demonstrated this in small farms like 8 to 15 acre kind of farms, where shifting from crop-based agriculture to tree-based agriculture enhances his economics almost 3 to 8 times over. In Vietnam, we had a few Vietnamese experts with us last week, and they were saying, shifting from paddy cultivation to fruit cultivation, their farmers' income has gone up 20 times over, 2,000%. We were amazed, how is this possible that you can increase farmers' income by 20 times, 2,000% in 6 years' time? They were laughing at us because they said they all came to Indian universities, particularly Pusa in Delhi, and they learned everything that they know in the Indian universities. They went back home and made practical application of what they learned, and the result is Vietnam is one of the major fruit exporters in the world today. We have all this knowledge sitting in our universities, but there is no way to transfer this knowing and this knowledge into the land to benefit our farmers. In the last 10 to 12 years, people tell me that over 3 lakh farmers have committed suicide in the country. 3 lakh people committing suicide is not a joke. It's not something we can ignore and just go on. And this has mainly happened because people say, whenever such things happen, the explanations given are, because the tomato prices dropped, this happened, because the bank was very forceful, this happened. No, I want all of you to understand this. I want you to look at this not as media, as human beings that all of us are. The thing is, if you and me go into farming, where the soil is depleted, there is no fertility in the soil, and there is not enough water, believe me, both of us will commit suicide. Because farming is a heartbreaking activity when there is no fertility and there is no water. This is what has happened. In a farm very close to where we are in near Coimbatore, which is generally a very fertile land, next to the mountain, there's abundant water generally, but today what's happened is, I meet this farmer who's 27 years of age. He has a holding of 3.5 acres of land. And when I asked him, I went there near his farm to see what's happening. He has put 9 bore wells in 3.5 acres. 9 bore wells put together cost nearly 1 crore. How will he ever recover this money? The only way is someday sell the land or hang yourself. This is all the option is. So the comprehensive policy change that we want to bring about very fundamentally addresses this, how a farmer can be made so that he does not get into the debt load that is coming upon him, which is impossible for him to create. 1 crore rupees he is never going to earn from the 3.5 acres and pay up. That's not going to happen. He has to either sell or run away somewhere or hang. This is all the option we're giving the farmer. This is a land, this southern India is a land where we have done agriculture for over 10,000 years. Nowhere else on the planet there is such a history of agriculture. So, this land has sustained us for that long, but today the fertility in the soil has come down so dramatically that in many states like Punjab, Haryana, Marathwada, southern Tamil Nadu, some parts of Andhra Pradesh, the fertility that is required to call soil as soil is minimum 2%. This is what the United Nations has fixed. But today, these states that I mentioned have 0.05% of organic content. This means in the next 3 to 5 years, this will become sand. We are converting soil into sand by taking away all the organic content. If we have to put the organic content, there are only two sources for us, the leaves from the trees and the animal waste. The trees are gone long ago and animals are all traveling overseas. If you eat an animal, that is not a problem. When you export millions of animals, what we are exporting is our topsoil. Millions of tons of topsoil are going away like this, and there is no way to put back fertility into the soil. This is not rocket science. This is something every farmer knew for always, that if I have 10 acres of land, how many animals and how many trees I must have is something that's known to every farmer. But suddenly, we have too much science and no sense, and we are going to a place where we have no way to replenish the soil. The crop that we take out is just topsoil that we take out. How do you put back? How do you revitalize the soil? There is no way to do it because there are no trees and there are not enough animals on the land. So the policy includes all dimensions. I cannot go into the detail because this policy document, the draft policy, what we have written is over 650 or 670 pages right now. So this will be presented to the central government. The most important aspect why we are doing the rally itself is, this is a concurrent subject between center and state. When I was in Puducherry or Pondicherry as you know it, the Chief Minister, Sri Narayan Swami, was saying, he openly, publicly spoke about it, is 25 years ago when he was in Rajiv Gandhi cabinet, he said, Sadhguru, a policy very similar to what you're talking, we had it all ready. All the experts agreed upon this, but we could not get the concurrence from the various states. It went into debate and it just got lost and we did not do it. So I told him, see, 25 years ago if you had done this, we could have done this with 10% of the effort we are putting in right now. But for whatever reason we did not do it, basically lack of concurrence. But now times have changed, fortunately, because everybody is realizing how dire the situation is, that today, all the 16 states that we are driving through, the chief ministers of the states are participating in the events. This is concurrence. This has never happened in this country for the last 70 years. For the first time, all the states across the political spectrum, till now the states we have gone through, there are 4 different or 5 different parties ruling these 6 states, and all of them have concurred. Main oppositions have concurred that this has to happen, and now this makes it much, much easier for the central government to take this step. Another reason why I'm personally driving and these crores of phone calls is, see, if you want to make a policy like this, even if we implement this aggressively, it will take 10 to 15 years of implementation.